We have successfully landed back on Kerbal, and thank you everyone who's reminding us, hey, let's run all the experiments again in our new location. There's not going to be a lot of science here in the desert, but we're going to get a little bit of it. There's not actually a lot of desert, I think, on Kerbal. It's like one of those biomes that people don't tend to run into a lot, I think. Log the temperature. Yes, it's a little more hot here. Excellent. We're going to get a crew report from the ground. Lovely. We're going to EVA. Get an EVA report. Boom. And we'll take a surface sample as well. Oh, I fall down. I can't get up. Take a surface sample. We're not going to plant a flag here. Boom. Let's grab. Board. And then call for our pickup. Look at the desert. Nice and flat. Where are we? Right there. I think one of the reasons I don't tend to get the science from the desert is it's very far to fly to. And, you know, most of the time when you land on Kerbal, you end up landing, well, mostly in the ocean, actually. Plant flag? No. You're not going to get any experience or anything from planting a flag here. It seems like it would be a little bit silly. Plant flags everywhere. Bump. So, excellent. Now we're up to 582 science. Brilliant. What we're very interested in is unlocking the mainsail. If there's anything else we'd like to unlock along the way, we actually have enough to unlock the atomic motor. I don't think we're going to mess with that on this one. I think I'm actually just going to hold off here. I'm not going to spend anything else. Do we need the extendable ladders? We actually might need the ladders. We're going to do that. Means we don't have enough for the atomic engine, but that's okay. Open the Duna lander. Load. Now, a little bit of time has passed. We're still going to be mostly in the sweet spot. So, there's actually a lot of changes that can go on here. A crap ton of changes. Because all of a sudden, this bottom stage here is absolutely going to have enough go with a single engine with the mainsail. Because the mainsail, you have to remember, has a thrust at atmospheric, let's call it 1400. And the weight right now of our whole thing is at 980. So this is a lot of thrust here. In fact, there's a good chance that we can do this and it can still go up. Yeah. This is actually sitting at about a 1. Because the mass times 9.8 is going to come out to about the 1379. So this is a little too heavy. Maybe we'll just split the difference. There we go. This is going to be a little bit better than a 1 thrust-weight ratio. And then we can still go at this point and grab these things and actually do much better asparagus staging. I'm assuming, but I don't know for sure, that these skippers are basically strong enough to lift this much, which means that this setup is able to kind of make itself go. No, we don't need anything like that. I'm going to take this and remove that. I'm going to take this, do this, properly asparagus stage you, like that. So then what we need is we need all the engines to light together, but then we need to get... Yeah, there we go. These guys to drop off first, then those guys. And then that. And then the fairing, and then go. I'm suspecting that this has enough thrust to weight. But I have no idea, because we don't have the math. And calculating for 1 is easy, but calculating for more than 1, I'm like, ugh, I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. So again, what I'll do is I'll have it so that we light the engines, and then we will drop the support beams. Meh? Let's see. We want to go with the scientist, right? Yes. It is Bob who's going to get stranded on the planet over there, so that we can reuse some of the experiments. The probe core is going to drive for him. Vroom. Oh, that looks so badass. So badass. We've got lights. We've got solar panels. We've got antennas. What else could we possibly need? You know what we could actually use that I didn't include over here? A big-ass reaction wheel. Oh, I don't have a big-ass one. Do I still want to add any other reaction? Because there is one in this bit. But it's not super powerful. Actually, there's two, because the lander module and the probe both have reaction wheels, so they'll probably be okay. Spinning the rest is going to be a little bit slow, but that's okay. We don't need fast responses. I don't think we need fins or anything like that, because these are all gimbling engines, so they actually should have a lot of control, but I'm not 100% sure. Just to eliminate a chance of wobble, I'm going to go and do this. And that. Let's just try and see what happens. What could possibly go wrong? Did you add batteries? Yes. We got the batteries up there. Better heat shield. The heat shield should be fine. Oh, I don't think we unlocked the big inflatable heat shield, which is a shame, because that thing is sick. Bob is wondering why they're planning a big party and stuff for this launch. Even his family. All right. Full throttle. SAS turned on. Light engine and declamp. Okay. So we do need a little bit more main sailage. So on the inner asparagus, right over here, we're going to do that. I don't think we need mainsails on all of them. There we go. We have liftoff. Liftoff of the Duna Lander 1 with brave Bob Kerman, who's never going to come home. I mean, did I say that out loud? Oh, poor Bob. Majestic. Majestic. Yeah, and our thrust weight, I'm very happy with this. We're probably sitting at about a 1.2 or 1.25, which tends to be exactly what feels the most comfortable for your liftoff. So at about 100 meters per second, we will go ahead and pitch over. I think it's probably more of a 1.2 rather than 1.25. And we'll be doing our first stage relatively soon. And then our thrust weight will actually go up, because we're dropping a couple of skipper engines, and we're only going to be operating on 3 mainsails. Because obviously the skippers aren't strong enough, so we will be getting a net gain in thrust to weight here. I don't want to pitch over too soon. So I'm just staying on the left side of this, because I'm thinking we might be pitching a little too much. And there they go. Stage. Should be accelerating more than before. So I'm trying to slow down my rollover here. Looks like we're going to hit about 45 degrees a little after 15K, which is nice, actually. I used to try to hit 45 degrees at 15K, but a lot of times that ends up being a little too shallow. And this seems to be a better ascent. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll try to keep it. Right, I can't lock to prograde or retrograde, which is a little bit unfortunate. Because this Probodium's not smart enough, and Bob, not being a pilot, cannot do it, but that's going to be fine. Okay, now is a good time to switch over to here, take a look at our apoapsis. Time to apoapsis is climbing, so we can definitely... And what's our altitude right now? Low enough that I can pretty much bring ourselves a little flatter, but not too much. Oh, it's already fighting me. Still a lot of air around here that wants to flip us over if we go too far away from our prograde. There we go. Now I can start to go a little further. We actually just switched to orbit mode, which is a good sign that we're thin enough. And I'm going to try to go completely horizontal here, but we will have to stop our burn very soon. I don't really want to go over 100 kilometers on our apoapsis here, because then you're spending a little bit too much effort getting up high. Still a lot of fuel in those 2 side tanks right now. Well, I say a lot. And go, and kill that. Oops, don't time warp, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to go to the map. 91K. All right, that'll do. Oh, we never did get rid of the fairing. Our timing was, wow. So we can get rid of that, because we don't need to protect ourselves from the air anymore, in which case we can ditch the extra weight. We could have done that a little sooner. This is debris, we're not going to recover. We don't have stage recover installed or anything like that. And we are just about to enter space. Waiting for the music. There we go. Music kicks in. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and extend these solar panels. Although these engines all have alternators. In fact, I think even the Poodle does. So power, we don't have to worry about running out, really. For the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and extend the antenna as well. Spunk. Grump. There we go. And we're just waiting to hit the apoapsis to start our circularization burn, which should not take too long. Actually, a little longer than expected here. So with 30 seconds to the node, we will start the burn at that point. And we have a full tank over here with the mainsail, so our thruster weight is still kind of redonkulous. I think we can take this to Duna, assuming Duna's still in the right position. This is the Quill remake of The Martian. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right, so about 30 seconds is when we want to do it. So without the engine being on, I can like wiggle my tail around all I want, but we're really not changing our position. The reaction wheels in here are really not meant to change this. Having some RCS on here would help, but yeah. I could have done that, put some RCS way down here, although I think I would have guessed that we'd burn through this a lot faster, so I'm not even sure I would have done that. So we're slowly shifting, and there's our node timer, so let's go ahead and turn this on, and now I can steer much easier. Just burning prograde. Get rid of that. Just burning prograde. Be nice if I could lock to prograde, or steer at a better rate, but that's okay. And at some point, the periapsis will pop out of the back end of the planet. Just as these, so they're flattening out, they're widening over here. At some point, they will miss the planet completely. Instead of smacking into the planet, because right now this is our path. We're going here and going to smack into the planet. But at some point, we will miss the planet. And that is our goal. There we go. We're almost at the point where we're going to miss the planet. Almost. There you go. Periapsis is sticking out. And once it starts to flip, there we go. Periapsis at 81. 94 over there. Not circular, but fine. Oh, this has got the probe symbol here. I don't know if I can change it from here. No, I'll have to change it from the tracking thing to indicate that it's not a probe at all. Okay, great stuff. Now, what are we looking to do? Well, we're looking to go to Duna, which is over there. To do that, we have to push ourselves into a higher orbit. We're burning prograde, which means relative to Kerbal. If we were Kerbal, if we were the planet, we'd want to burn prograde to smash into Duna. So with our ship, we want to leave going forward in the direction of Kerbal, which means we want to start our burn probably somewhere around here. Depends on how long it'll take for us to do the burn and the escape and whatnot. We might potentially be able to get a bit of a gravity boost somewhere. Looks like not really. There we go. And I'm going to keep going until our escape is basically tangential over here. And actually, we could keep going with the one burn here. Close encounter. I can tune our times here for our lift, but the problem is I can't really see. The most I can see is that fact that this angle is not good. So if we were to go and delay this, we'd be going slightly more tangential, but then everything else would get messed up over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down, not burn quite as much, because my goal is to leave tangentially here because it's going to be probably the most optimal. And then once we leave the sphere of influence, then I'll do a corrective burn. It's not as efficient, but sure as hell a lot easier. All right, that looks pretty good to me. And results in us getting here. So not quite an encounter in one burn, but as soon as we leave the Kerbal sphere of influence, it'll be way easier to plan and maneuver to finish off this encounter. But we're most of the way there. So I'm going to call this good enough for Kerbal. All right, so what are we going to do? Well, our node is very, very, very soon. I want to get over to the blue thing, but again, our turning rates are apocalyptically bad. We want to start a burn with about 30 seconds, 33 seconds left until we hit the node. So we'll try to get as close to the blue as we can. I'm just holding down the D key here to move our facing over to there. Ideally before we get there. Push comes to shove, I can give us like sort of minimal throttle, which will give us the ability to turn with the engine gimbling at that point, and then it'll be a lot easier to lock onto our maneuver node. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. We're drifting now. Good. Very good. Don't even... I can turn off the SAS and then Hands off. Looks like we're going to get there. Did we forget? I talked about reaction wheels. I decided not to go for it because we actually have reaction wheels in the probe core and here. It's just that with all this stuff, it gets ridiculous. As soon as we go and get rid of this stage, it's going to be a little easier. And then we've got our final stage over there, which is going to be very, very responsive. Very responsive. Better EVA and push. Kerbal seal probably going to work. Hey, man. Just eyeball stuff. Seat of the pants. What could possibly go wrong? Sometimes things explode. And modless. Again, I did include that Planet Shine mod here because it got updated, just so that I can increase the ambient light so that you guys can actually see the ship when we're like on the dark side of things, because on video it comes out really dark. But literally no mods other than that. Oh, there's our maneuver. Let's do the little time warp trick. When you time warp, it kills all the physics, even the rotations and things like that. So we didn't have to worry about slowing down for our maneuver. Don't tell anybody. All right, we're going to do a quick save so I can time warp here. And again, with about 33 seconds left, I want to start the burn. 33 seconds to the node. And it's not like, I don't have to be super precise on this, because it's not like my maneuver is that super precise or accurate, but that's pretty close. Let's go. And now, all of a sudden, I can steer much easier. Oh, turn the SAS on. There you go. It looks pretty much dead on to my little maneuver node, which is going to be great. And when this maneuver ends, it means we're going to be escaping Kerbin for the very first time. Hype, hype. We will have to stage, though, to complete this maneuver. These mainsails, they do burn fuel quite aggressively. They're not inefficient, though. They're actually surprisingly efficient. They're a little heavier than the whatever the other 2.5 meter engine is. And that's really their only loss of efficiency is that. So you use the other ones if you can. But if you have to use the mainsail, it's fine. And stage. Whatever this is. Yeah, the skipper engines. The skipper engines are a lot lighter. Still made for atmospheric flight. Clearly, this should have been a poodle. Shit. Knowing now, like, if I just reverted to the space dock here... Whoa, that was interesting. If I just reverted to the construction center, I would replace this with a poodle, which is much, much more efficient in space flight. We would have gotten a ton more Delta V. But we are now on our escape path over here. Basically leaving tangentially to Kerbin, which is pretty great. Satisfied with that. Again, we'll have to do another maneuver to actually get our encounter. But this is a good start. I guess I could actually go ahead and plan the maneuver now. Since we're pretty close-ish, I can now pull out and see. A little bit of that. Yeah, what I think I'm going to have to do is do like a radial, anti-radial relative to the sun to shift things over, which is too bad because those are actually very expensive maneuvers. I don't know. I don't know. Could just be that our launch window is not that great. Trying to get these markers as close as possible. Well, I mean, that's already an improvement. And then, yeah, I think it'll be easier to make the final adjustment when we're actually in orbit of the sun, because the directions will map in a way that I'm a little bit more comfortable. But let's go ahead and see if we can't execute this maneuver here. So it should be a little easier to steer than before. Still pretty slow, but it is a little faster. Oh, we got another tip. We got, well, and hey, thank you very much. You need a plane change maneuver a quarter way through the orbit. Oh, you think that's it? Are we, what's our ascending, descending node? No, we're going to be within 0.1 degree. We're goddamn close to the correct plane. Because Kerbal and Duna orbit on the same plane. So it should be pretty damn close. Oh, I'm going to the retrograde one. The inverted direction of the maneuver that I'm actually looking for. Although that's okay. Still building up speed, so I'm just going to... No, that is the right one. Never mind. There's no retrograde maneuver node marker. So again, we'll get close. We'll do the little time warp physics trick. Boop. There we are. And then still try to aim a little closer to it. We're actually going to end up with way too much delta V. We're going to end up with enough delta V we could almost go into Mars orbit, or Duna orbit. Okay, get there, and then warp to about 11 seconds left. Whoa, and go for burn. Turn on the SAS. There we are. I didn't actually check to see if this would actually result in us smacking into our planet. No. Okay, we're still well going away. Whew. Because every now and again I've done that. Especially with the burns that are really, really slow. The burn is such that, like, you'd actually end up running yourself into your own planet again. I chase this maneuver a little bit, but alright, I'm going to call that good enough for here. We'll do the corrective burn when we actually leave here. See, now we're not leaving tangentially, but we are presumably getting closer, so we'll just have to hope that it works. Cross our fingers! Okay. So, here's our descending node. We could do a little bit of a plane change over here to get us to exactly 0% change in our orbit. This is basically whether we're sort of flat or not, but we're basically there. 0.1 is pretty goddamn good. So now the bigger question is, how do I fix, and it might not be here, the better way to fix, since I couldn't really fix it from Kerbal itself, we actually might have an easier time making a slight adjustment over here. First of all, what I could do is, there we go, just a tiny 7.2 meter per second from this far away brings us to 0 degrees of inclination, which is nice relative to Duna, which I think is 0 degrees from the equator of the sun, just because of how the solar system is laid out. And there we go. There we go. What's the distance here? 708. 587. 286. Oh, it gets a little further away. A little closer, and then that's probably going further away. 273. Oh no. 300. 223. 208. How are we not getting an encounter at this? It's hard to tell. 201. 202. Oh, there we are. 226. 66. Boom! There's our encounter. Okay. This is a burn in 36 days. I mean, we could probably tune it. Still a pretty tiny burn. That will get an encounter. We'll do that. Then I'll be able to fine-tune my actual approach to Duna at that point.